Good morning, Stampers. Welcome to Learning with Friends. Uh-oh, I got some feedback. What's going on? I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. So let me see what I can fix here. I forgot to plug something into my phone. I always forget something. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope you don't hear the feedback like I do, because I'm still kind of feeling it, hearing it. Oh dear. Is it gone? Let's hope it's gone. This happens every once in a while, and I don't really know why. All right, we're going to try again. I don't hear it now, so I hope you don't hear it either. I do everything the same every time, and sometimes I get noises and sometimes I don't. I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with the electrons in the air. I don't know, but welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is Learning with Friends, and I am Pat Fairless. And it is the second Thursday of the month, so it is May 8th, I think. Do I know where I am today? I don't know. I don't feel like I know where I am. But on the second Thursday, we do template time. So I have a sketch for you today. It is my Fairless Stampin Flair Sketch. What number is it? Number 3. I think we did 5 last month. I'm not going in any particular order, as you can tell, but I'm not changing my numbers. I'm just picking and choosing which ones I'm doing which week. So I only have like 6. And I think I'll only have 1 more left after this, because I started this in January. So in June, I'll have done the only 6 I have. So I'm going to have to start making some more, right? But anyway, it is template time. We're going to follow my sketch number 3 today. I hope you like it. It's kind of a fun sketch. It gives you some options, and I like it. It's got lots of layers and lets me show off designer series paper, which is one of my favorite things to do with sketches, it seems like. So I'm still hearing feedback. I hope you're not. But let's go ahead and flip my camera down. Enough chatting, enough complaining about my issues, and we will get started. All right, so this is my sketch number 3. Bring it a little bit closer for you. I think you can see it. Tomorrow, Friday, May 9th, I will have the card that we're making today posted on my Fairless Stampin Flair blog, so fairlessstampinflair.com. The card will be posted there along with the tutorial, a link to this video, and on the written tutorial is a copy of this sketch. This sketch does have all the dimensions on it, but they are also written in the tutorial for this specific card. Because remember, as I always say when we do template time, sketches are idea generators. You don't have to follow them exactly. You can change the sizes and the shapes. And for our card today, I did change the sizes of these mats a little bit because I decided that I was going to use some dies to cut them. So then you have to work with whatever the size of your rectangle dies are, right? But the sketch, and you'll see when it's done, it's basically, this is the idea. So let me show you the card, or should I just keep you in suspense? I'll show it to you. This is the card we're going to make. It is with Turtley Awesome. I've been using that a few times over the last few weeks, ever since we could pre-order. This was the set that I selected for after-hours stamping on stage, and I've been playing with it quite a bit since I got home. So let me just remind you, this is what it looks like. It's got 3 turtles, kind of funky looking turtles. I'm being kind. They're very unique turtles. But there's a lot of other little items in here. And all of these things have dies that they coordinate with, including some items on here that are not coordinating stamps, but there are things in the designer series paper that coordinate with the dies. So I have done a lot of the pre-work, but I have the pieces here, and I just kind of want to show you first. So I have an embossed layer on my card. You can do it with or without the embossed layer. The sketch shows a layer. It doesn't show it's embossed, but you don't even need to absolutely have the layer. I'm still hearing feedback, guys. I hope you aren't. It's not bad, but I'm hearing it. And it's kind of annoying for me. And you hear yourself twice. So we have a lower rectangle as I showed and an upper rectangle as I showed on the sketch. And then these items here can be any size or shape. Kind of choose them based on what your stamp set is you're going to use. But we can also, and I'm going to show you 3 cards actually, we can also turn it horizontally. I can flip these around in this direction. We can do lots of different things with our idea generating sketch. But let's just go ahead and get the card made. I used the radiating stitches dies for the 2 rectangles. I used the medium and the smaller one. And there's like little dashes around the edges, and you can just kind of see that in the die cuts. But let's go ahead. It's my Stamp and Seal. And I'm using the Turtley Cute Designer Series paper. And I picked colors that aren't necessarily turtley for today's card. I picked some of the background pieces in there. I know I've shown you the DSP before, so I'm not going to go through it all, but these are just some more generic backgrounds that have some pretty colors. Oh, and this one is cut a little bit wrong. Okay. See that? It's not quite cut correctly. So we're going to make it anyway. We'll just put this on here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. So I'm just going to have it on the top and the bottom. And let's go ahead and put this. I'm going to put this on with liquid adhesive. This uses the embossing folder that comes with the suite. If you buy the whole suite, it comes with an embossing folder that looks like turtle shells or the pattern of turtle shells. I might have it handy here. I can show you. I'll get this glued on here. So when you're adhering embossed layers, rule of thumb is it's a good idea to apply it with liquid adhesive. But this is what the embossing folder looks like. It's got the pattern of the shells. I like it. The more I'm using this set, the more I'm liking it. So now the card I am making, other than I changed up the size a bit, it is basically, we are following the sketch. The other couple cards that I will show you have a little bit more variety. I mixed it up a little bit more. So, and I adhere these directly. You could adhere them with dimensionals if you wanted. I might have to with my, okay, there we go. But because I'm going to be popping up the images on here, I just like to put them flat so it doesn't get too thick. I popped up my circles. I used the Around It All, I think is what it's called, Around It All dies for these white circles. Like I said in the sketch, you can use any shape you want. You could use punched punch shapes. You can use no shapes and put your things right on this designer series paper if you wanted, but I kind of wanted to break it up rather than putting it right on the DSP. So this turtle, I actually stamped him and colored him with Stampin' Blends. For today's card, we are actually going to make it with one of the turtles. This turtle that lays down is also in the designer series paper. And I did cut one out, and we're going to use this, but I want to show you at least a portion of how I colored this turtle. I wasn't sure, I'm trying to save time by keeping it simple for the sake of the video. We will use this one, but I do think this one, the color goes better with the balmy blue. Why? Because I used balmy blue to color them. So I want to just kind of show you a little bit how I blended various colors, because I used lots of colors for him. I didn't want him to look this color. That didn't seem right for a turtle. You need to be a little more green than that. So I also pulled in some Summer Splash. And for his tummy and his neck area and his toes, I used Daffodil Delight and Wild Wheat. Now these are kind of an unusual combination of colors. So I just wanted to show you a little bit. And my way of coloring with Stampin' Blends is to start with the lightest color. And what I need to do is I'm going to grab a piece of grid paper here. I'm going to put this on here before. If you've used Stampin' Blends, you do know that they go through and show on the other side, and I don't really want to get that on my table, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this down here, and I'm just going to color a little bit of him just to kind of show you how I did the colors. So I put some of this, did I say Daffodil Delight? Yeah, it is Daffodil Delight Light, and I was not careful at all. I didn't even try to really get it all covered. I just had a little bit of it in there. So I started with my light Daffodil Delight, and then I shaded the edges and his neck just a bit under here. These lines, kind of the edges, to give it a little variation of color. And then I took my light Wild Wheat. This was bright. I thought this was bright. And the Wild Wheat just kind of added a little bit more brownish color, which I kind of liked. And I'm not going to do it all. I only used the light Wild Wheat. And then I came back with my Daffodil Delight and went over this and just kind of pulled it up into his neck a little bit more and into various areas. And if you do it don't wait too long between, then these colors kind of blend together. And that was what I was after, because I wanted that to kind of be a brownish yellow, but I didn't want it as brown as Wild Wheat. I wanted it a little more yellow. So that's what I did. Then for the shell and his head, I took my light balmy blue and I just, again, kind of brought it down. Okay, and while this was still pretty wet, I took the light Summer Splash, picked up some dark around the edges, added a few little dabs here and there, and then I went back with my blue, because if it's wet now it starts to blend, and kind of pulled a little bit more of that down into the yellow. And then I took my Daffodil Delight again and just kind of pulled it up into the blue. And if you play around with it, now you can see that the blue and the yellow, the balmy blue, the yellow, and the Summer Splash are all kind of starting to blend. And when I did the shell, I'll just do a little section of this, and his feet here, legs, I did the same thing. I started with balmy blue, and then I took some summer splash, and I used the light, and I pulled the edges into the dots and just added a little bit here and there, if you get the idea. And then I went back again with the balmy blue to kind of get that summer splash and balmy blue to blend. So it doesn't really look like either one of them. It's a little bit more of a turquoisey, greenish color. The summer splash added a little bit more green. But now I thought it was still a little too blue. So I took the yellow in between. Didn't really put it on the dots, but in between. I went over it with yellow. And we all know yellow and blue makes green. And if you can kind of see that, that is a very quick interpretation of just trying to show you how I went back and forth with those various colors to get this end result. But we're going to finish our card with the one I cut from this cardstock, just to keep it relatively short. The birds I also stamped for my card. I stamped the little birds because there are stamps in the stamp set for these little birds. They stamp together, there's two of them, and there's one die that cuts them both. For the one on this card, my first card, I used Poppy Parade, and I put a little bit of yellow on their wings. For the card we're going to do now, I just die cut them from the I die cut them right from the designer series paper. And this is the piece. Let me show you this quick. This is the designer series paper. So here's the little turtle that I used. And the die cuts him out. There's a die that matches. The little birds, there's one die that cuts them both out at the same time. So for demonstration purposes, that's what I did to keep it a little shorter today, is if I were to color and do all the die cutting, you probably don't need to watch me. I'm not that fast, as you know. So we will do it this way. We're just cheating a little bit. Not really. That's why they give us the paper, though we can cut it out, right? That's not cheating. It's saving time. So let's lay him there, and then I took some tiny little dimensionals. I need to take my pick tool to pick these up. And I took my little dimensionals actually, and then I took my paper snips, because even these are kind of too big. So I just went in here and cut the little ones in half. A big one cut in half was still too big, so a little one cut in half. Where's my other bird? Here he goes. It fit better. And then I put these little guys just kind of down here. Actually, I think I put a dimensional up behind his head because he's not on his tummy. He's off from it, so that puts him at the dimensional only wants to stick to my finger. Go figure. Yeah. And I'm going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive on here. Just do that, where he's going to be on the turtle. Let's use this to grab it if I can. There. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. See, I'm not good at being fast. I make lots of muffs when I'm fast. But I try to be fast. All right. And we will put him right about there. Add some dimensionals. And stick the little turtle here. He's relaxing, right? And then this was the fifth smallest. This is the fifth smallest, no, this is the fourth, this is the fifth smallest from the Around It All dies. On this one, which we're going to put up here, kind of in keeping with the sketch, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to stamp the It's Okay to Be Slow. I thought I'd make this into a bit of a get well card. And just using black memento ink. And then we're going to pop this up with dimensionals as well. I like dimensionals. And now all we need is a little bit of bling. So I didn't know what I should use on here. I found these. I'm sure they are retired. They're called the Pastel Adhesive Back Sequins. I don't even know how old they are. They have gold and petal pink and balmy blue. Now, I thought about blue, but since I had all the blue in the cardstock, I decided I was going to go with pink. I think I'm just going to go with pink on this one too. So we'll just stick a couple of these on here. And that is my completed card front. Now the inside, I put this together, but I did not put a sentiment on here. So I found this sentiment in So Sincere. Last time I checked, it was on the last chance list. Last time I checked, which has been a bit, it was still available. Last chance items are available as long as supplies last. So, but I do like this stamp set. I wish it had stayed around and not. I wasn't happy to see it on the last chance list. Let's just put it that way. I would have been happy to see it carry over because it's got a nice, real nice variety of sentiments for all different kinds of occasions, which I like. That way I don't need a whole bunch of sentiment sets. And a lot of sets don't have like get well things in it. So there we go. Now the difference, so here's the first one I made. And here's the one where it's cut out of the Designer Series paper. I did switch, I got polka dots down here I had stripes. I just switched the two. Frankly, that was not done on purpose. I just cut them wrong. I'm like, well, that doesn't matter. Either way works good, right? And so I put polka dots on, if I had polka dots on this card and this one, I'm like, well, I'll stick with the theme of the envelope matching the upper square. So there's my stripes on this one. I don't know. The coloring on the paper is really pretty, but I kind of like this color with the balmy blue a little bit better. My opinion, what do you think? Do you like the one I colored, or do you like the one out of the paper? Certainly much quicker to die cut it out of the paper, right? So that is that template. Now let me show you two more cards. The next card I'm going to show you I made with the terrific toadstools. And this one I did it in landscape instead of portrait. So if I'd been in portrait, it would have been in this direction, except I changed the position. So here, it was here, and this was over here. So I just kept the bigger one on the bottom. And here I didn't actually use any type of die shape on top, die cut or punch. I just used my toadstools. So again, sketches are idea generators. Don't think you have to follow them literally. And I just added a piece of this designer's. This was the celebration that came with, that coordinated with these toadstools. That is gone. The toadstools are coming back though, so that's cool. I was happy to see those back. They are really cute. So that's that card. And then the last card I'm going to show you of the three, I think is my favorite. It is made with another new stamp set that will be in the catalog, or actually it is in the catalog now because it's what did I say it was? It's February 8th. Oh yeah, so Tuesday. So you can now order this from the catalog. It's called Feathered Fun. There are no dies to coordinate with this, but it's kind of an interesting stamp set because the stamps, you can stamp, this would be the back of the stamp, so you can flip the stamps over. So there's detail on one side, and then you can also stamp with the back and get a solid image. So you could stamp your solid image and then put the detail on top if you were a two-step stamp. I colored mine. I used the parakeets. I think these are parakeets. They look like parakeets to me. Parrots or parakeets. I'm not sure what the difference is. And these are little titmouse. But again, I put a circle down here behind them, which is kind of in keeping with the sketch. It has a die cut on here. But on the top, I did not put one. I just used the birds as they were. I thought it didn't need another circle up there. That just looked a little bit overdone. This paper is from Beautiful Gallery, I believe it is called. It is, yeah, Beautiful Gallery DSP. It is gorgeous. If you love flowers, this is the back side of it. The other sides are all flowers. So that is my third card. And on the inside, I just used a strip of that paper and turned it into a thank you card. So this is basic beige. One thing I did here, rather than adding another layer on the top and embossing that layer, I just embossed the basic beige card front directly. Frankly, I wasn't happy with how it turned out. I do that occasionally, but every time I do it, I remember why I don't do it, because it really breaks down the fibers in your cardstock and it makes it feel very flimsy, and it kind of wants to bend and deform. So I ended up adding a piece on the inside to just kind of flatten it out. That was my way to fix it. Because when I went to take pictures, it was wanting to curve and I wasn't happy with it. So there you go. There are my three cards made with sketch number 3. And again, tomorrow, the Totally Awesome card will be on my FairlessStampinFlair.com blog. You'll be able to get the written tutorial with all the dimensions to these pieces. And then the dimensions are also on the sketch, the generic dimensions. Again, it's a guide. Change as you need to based on what stamps you use. But there we go. Let me go back to my camera over here. All right. I made it. I didn't forget anything, I don't think. I don't know. I'm still hearing myself in my ears. I'm still getting some feedback, so I don't know. It kind of comes and goes, so I hope when you listen to this, it's not going to drive you crazy like it's driving me crazy, because it is driving me a little crazy. But I hope you like the sketch. Let me know what you think. I'd love to see your comments. Give me a comment. That'd be great. And if you're new to Learning with Friends, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm glad you found me. Every Thursday at 10 a.m., I have a video. And I started, it used to be 100% techniques. And I am now switching it up a little bit. On the second Thursday, I'm doing a sketch. The last Thursday, I am doing a fun fold, and the rest of them are still techniques. So if you're new, that's kind of the schedule and the plan of how the month goes. But I hope you learned something. I hope you try some of these. And if you do, let me know. I'd love to know if you try it. Until next week, have a great day. God bless and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.